Biden's America, majority living paycheck to paycheck, even six-figure earners overwhelmed. So even people making six figures, $100,000 or more, they even they are struggling in struggling with Bidenomics right now. Biden is ruining this country. He's destroying the middle class. I said this was going to happen if he ended up in office, and now that's exactly what's going on. The new unemployment numbers came up, and it was abysmal. I mean, by every single metric under this president, Americans are worse off. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. A recent report reveals that an increasing number of Americans are struggling financially while their debt continues to grow. According to CNBC, as of July, a majority of adults, specifically 61% in a survey by Lending Club, stated that they were barely making ends meet, living paycheck to paycheck. In July, a study discovered that 78% of individuals earning less than $50,000 annually and 65% of those making between $50,000 and $100,000 yearly were facing financial difficulties, living from one paycheck to the next. Surprisingly, even 44% of those earning over $100,000 annually were in a similar predicament as indicated by the study. The head of TD Bank's credit cards and unsecured lending, Chris Fred, attributed these financial struggles to the ongoing impact of inflation and rising interest rates. The second quarter of the year witnessed a staggering 1.03 trillion in credit card debt as reported by The Week. Additionally, credit card delinquencies reached 7.2%. Moody's Analytics chief economist Mark Zandi highlighted the tough choices facing households in this situation, such as deciding whether to prioritize paying credit card bills, rent, or buying groceries, as noted by the Washington Post. So this is just not these are leftist newspapers saying this stuff. Furthermore, the annual credit card interest rate stands at 20.6%. Neil Sanders, managing director for retail at Global Data, pointed out that people generally dislike falling into default or delinquency with credit cards, which highlights the significant pressure many consumers are currently experiencing and underscores the cracks appearing in the consumer economy. Economist David Rosenberg expressed concerns about an impending recession, suggesting that mounting debt in areas like credit cards could be a catalyst, according to Insider. He drew parallels to the subprime mortgage crisis of 15 years ago, emphasizing the potential consequences of deteriorating credit quality in a specific asset class. Rosenberg also highlighted the impact of a substantial interest rate shock, which has been particularly mitigated by student debt relief and large stimulus checks. Additionally, he mentioned China's economic situation, characterized by a structural slowdown, which could affect the global economy. And y'all know I talk about what's going on in China right now. Like they have a crisis of their own to deal with. The House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith, a Missouri Republican, criticized what he referred to as Bionomics for worsening the lives of Americans, citing reckless spending and detrimental economic policies by the Biden administration. Smith argued that under Republican economic policies, job growth reached historic levels, and lower income workers experienced significant higher wage growth compared to high income earners. I mean, you can't argue with stats. However, he claimed that under President Biden leadership, lower income workers are suffering the most, with 63% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, exacerbated by rising prices. Tiana Lowe Docher, in an op-ed for the Washington Examiner, highlighted the cost of living have surged by 16% due to inflation since Biden assumed office, resulting in a 16% reduction in Americans' purchasing power. She pointed out that this inflation disproportionately affects the least privileged, with the consumer price index for food increasing by 19%, electricity prices rising by 23%, used car prices surging by 30%, which is just ridiculous, and car repair costs increasing by 23% since January 2021. So, like I said earlier, by every single metric under this president, Americans are way worse off than what they were while under Trump. Everyone knows it, everyone sees it, the left knows it, the left sees it. They're trying to pretend like this is not happening, but we're all living in this, and they know that come election season, they're going to be kicked out of office. Well, at least they should be, unless some shenanigans go on during those times. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.